Hi guys, after long time, I'll come back with new novel series. Can you guess it? Okay, it is Famous Fire, written by Enid Blyton. I hope you enjoy this novel. That's why I bring it for you. Can you come with me to sort out some mysterious things with our Julian, Dick, George, Anne, and our lovely friend Timmy? This is book number 10, named Five on a Hike Together. Let's we enjoy the novel. Chapter 1. A letter from Julian. Anne, shouted George, running after her cousin as she went along to her classroom. Anne, I've just been down to the letterboard, and there's a letter from your brother Julian. I brought it for you. Anne stopped. Oh, thanks, she said. What can Julian want? He only wrote a few days ago. He never writes again so soon. It must be something important. Open it and see, said George. Hurry up, I've got a math class to go to. Anne ripped open the envelope. She pulled out a sheet of notepaper and read it quickly. She looked up at George, her eyes shining. George, Julian and Dick have got a few days off at our half-term weekend. Somebody's won a wonderful scholarship or something. And the boys have got 2 days tacked onto a weekend to celebrate. They want us to join them in a hike and all go off together. What a glorious idea, said George. I bet Julian thought of that. Let's read the letter, Anne. But before she could read it, a teacher came along. Georgina, you should be in class. And you too, Anne, George called. She hated to be called by her full name. She went off without a word. Anne tucked the letter into her pocket and rushed off joyfully. Half term with her brothers, Julian and Dick, and with George and Timmy, the dog. Could anything be better? She and George talked about it again after morning school. We get from Friday morning till Tuesday, said George. The boys are getting the same. That's lucky. They don't usually have a half term in the winter term. They can't go home because the painters are in our house, said Anne. That's why I was going home with you, of course. But I'm sure your mom won't mind if we go off with the boys. Your dad never likes us coming back in the middle of the term. No, he doesn't, said George. He is always deep in the middle of some wonderful idea, and he hates to be disturbed. It'll suit everyone if we go off on a hike. Julian says he'll phone us tonight and arrange everything, said Dan. I hope it'll be a nice sunny weekend. It'll still be October, so there's a chance of a bit of warm sunshine. The woods will be beautiful, said George. And won't Timmy enjoy himself? Let's go and tell him the news. The boarding school that the two girls were at was one that allowed the children to bring their own pets to school. There were kennels down in the yard for various dogs, and Timmy lived there during term time. The two girls went to get him. He heard their footsteps at once and began to bark excitedly. He scraped at the gate of the kennel yard, wishing for the 1,000th time that he could find out how to open it. He flung himself on the two girls, licking and pawing and barking. "Silly dog, mad dog," said George, and patted his back affectionately. "Listen, Timmy, we are going off for the weekend with Julian and Dick. What do you think of that? We are going on a hike. So you love it? All through the woods and up the hills and who knows where." Timmy seemed to understand every word. He pricked up his ears and his head on one side and listened intently while George was speaking. "Woof," he said at the end, as if he approved truly. Then off he went with the girls for his walk, his plummy tail wagging happily. He didn't like term time nearly as much as the holidays, but he was quite prepared to put up with canal life as long as he could be near his beloved George. Julian rang up that night as he had promised. He had got everything planned already, and listened thrilled. "It sounds fantastic," she said. "Yes, we can meet where you say, and we'll be there as near as we can on time. Anyway, we can wait about if you others aren't there." "Yes, we'll bring the things you say. Oh, Julian, won't it be fun?" "What did he say?" asked George impatiently when at last Anne put the receiver down. "You could have let me have a word with Julian. I wanted to tell him all about Timmy." "He doesn't want to waste an expensive phone call listening to you raving about Timmy," said Dan. "He asked how he was and I said good. And that's all he wanted to know about Tim. He's made all the arrangements. I'll tell you what they are." The girls went off to a corner of their common room and sat down. Timmy was there too. He was allowed in at certain times, and so were 3 other dogs belonging to the girls. Each dog behaved well. He knew that if he didn't, he'd be taken back to the kennels at once. "Julian says that he and Dick can get off immediately after breakfast," said Dan. "So can we, so that's all right. He says we've got to take very little with us. Just night things, toothbrush, hairbrush, and flannel, and a roll-up raincoat, and any biscuit or chocolate we can buy. Have you got any money left?" "A bit," said George. "Not much. Enough to buy a few bars of chocolate, I think. Anyway, you got all the biscuits your mum sent last week. We can take some of those." "Yes, and the barley sugar one of my aunts sent," said Dan. "But Julian says we are not to take much because this is to be a proper hike, and we'll get tired if we have to carry a heavy load. Oh, he said put in 2 pairs of extra socks." "Right," said George, and she patted Timmy, who was lying close beside her. "There's going to be a long walky walk, Tim. Won't you love that?" Timmy grunted comfortably. He wondered if there would be any rabbits on the walk. A walk wasn't really exciting unless there were rabbits all over the place. Timmy thought it was a pity that rabbits were allowed to live down holes. They always disappeared very unfairly just when he had nearly caught one. Anne and George went to see their teacher to tell her that they weren't going to Kirrin Cottage after all, but were going walking. My brother says he's written to you, said Dan. So you'll know all about it tomorrow, Miss Peters. And George's mum will be writing too. We can go, can't we? Oh yes, it'll be a lovely half term for you, said Miss Peters, especially if this sunny weather lasts. Where are you going? Over the moors, said Anne. In the very loneliest, most deserted part that Julian can find, we might see deer and wild ponies, and perhaps even a few beggars. We'll walk and walk. But where will you sleep if the parts you are going to are so very lonely? Asked Miss Peters. Oh, Julian's arranging all that, said George. He's been looking up little inns and farmhouse on the map, and we'll make for those at night. It'll be too cold to sleep out of doors. It certainly will, said Miss Peters. Well, don't get into trouble. That's all. I know what you five are even you get together. I'm imagining Timmy's going with you too. Of course, said George. I wouldn't go if he didn't go. I couldn't leave him here alone. The two girls got their things ready as Friday came near. The biscuits were taken out of the tin and put into paper bags. The barley sugar was put into a bag too, and the bars of chocolate. Both girls had rucksacks. They packed and repacked them several times. One by one, more and more things were added. Anne felt she must take a book to read. George said they must each take torch with a new battery. And what about biscuit for Timmy? She said. I must take something for him. He'd like a bone too. A big one that he can chew and that I can put back into the bag for another time. Let me carry all the biscuit and chocolate then, if you are going to put a smelly old bone into your bag, said Dan. I don't see why you want to take anything for Timmy. He can always have something to eat when we do, wherever we have a meal. George decided not to take the bone. She had fetched one from his kennel, and it certainly was big and heavy, and equally certainly it was smelly. She took it back to the kennel again, Timmy following her rather puzzled. Why keep carrying his bone here and there? He didn't approve at all. It seemed a long time till Friday, but at last it came. Both girls woke up very early indeed. George was out in the kennels before breakfast, brushing and combing Timmy, to make him look smart for Julian and Dick. He knew it was the day they were to set off, and he was as excited as the two girls. We'd better eat a good breakfast, said Dan. We might have to wait some time before our next meal. Let's slip off immediately after breakfast. It's lovely to feel free of school and bells and timetables, but I won't feel really free till I am outside the school grounds. They ate an enormous breakfast, although really they were too excited to want much. Then they got their rucksacks ready packed the night before, said goodbye to Miss Peters, and went to fetch Timmy. He was waiting impatiently for them, and barked madly when they came near. In a trice he was out of his kennel yard and capering around them, almost tripping them up. "Goodbye, Anne and George," yelled one of their friends. "Have a good time on your hike, and it's no good coming back on Tuesday and telling us you had one of your usual hair raising adventures, because we just won't believe it." "Woof," said Timmy. "Woof, woof," which means that he was going to have adventures with hundreds of rabbits anyway. If you enjoy my video, please subscribe us, like us and share us. We will meet again next chapter. Bye.